Welcome to another video. The episode we just finished was Fugitive of the Judoon. And we have a few surprises in this episode. Some old friends, some old pseudo-adversaries, and a very unlikely twist or two. Beware, there are spoilers ahead. So it opens with Ruth and her husband. And it's her birthday, and he's supposed to make her a birthday breakfast, but he slept in. And she made her own breakfast, and she goes to her regular job as a tour guide. The coffee shop guy flirts with her, saying she can do better than her husband. In fact, later when he comes to pick up a cake, he puts "you can do better" on the cake, and I thought that was kind of hilarious. But things quickly unravel as the Judoon show up looking for a fugitive where she lives in Gloucester. And they have tracked it down to her flat. Her husband, like he knows something, starts packing. So we naturally assume that this fugitive is him, even though they both seem human. And hidden away in the flat, as the doctor finds out, there is something metal, something alien, an old war medal. She's bargained with the Judoon to give her minutes. She's used the psychic paper, and of course, the Judoon are, not the brightest crayons in the box. And they had believed her. But her husband tells her to get out, and he sends some sort of texts, and the Judoon come for him. And there's a mysterious woman known as Gat, and she comes with the Judoon, and she makes some sort of comment to the husband, like faithful companion. In the meantime, Graham is a bit lost. He's been scooped by a ship. And who appears is none other than an old friend. Yes, he's back. Our favorite pansexual immortal, flirts with everybody in the galaxy, Captain Jack Harkness. Yes. I got totally excited over this, especially when he mistook Graham for the doctor and just full-on kissed him. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so Captain Jack. But Graham reveals that he's not the doctor. He reveals the gender of the doctor. So Jack tries to scoop again, and he scoops Ryan and Yaz. And Ryan, he said, well, I like them a bit young, but he said she, and Yaz knows it's 3. I've always had a dream about that once. So Jack figures he can't home in on him because there are Judoon around. And Ruth has been sent that text message from her husband. And it says, break the glass, follow the light, happy birthday. And she gets an image in her mind of a lighthouse. And so she and the doctor go to this lighthouse, and she said this is where she was raised, that her parents are buried there, And the doctor tells her to stay inside. And the doctor goes outside to the graves and finds out that it's not a grave. In the meantime, Ruth does as the text tells her, and it all comes back to her. She finds a gun, some sort of alien gun. And in the meantime, the doctor excavates the graves and finds the TARDIS, which means Ruth is not human at all. She's a Time Lord. So, in the meantime, Ruth reveals who she is, that she is not just any Time Lord. She is, are you ready for this, folks? The Doctor. But of course, those of us who've watched every series of the Doctor or are familiar with at least old Doctor Who lore, we know, she's saying that she's a past incarnation of this Doctor. We know that she can't be. What in the world is going on? And it's just confusing, because we know that the previous 12 incarnations that we have seen on television of the Doctor have been male. 13 if you count the War Doctor. And when confronted by Gat, who also happens to be a Time Lord, or Time Lady, neither the Ruth Doctor or Gat know that Gallifrey has been destroyed. Something's going on. But what? We do not know. This can possibly feed into the greater story arc that is going to play out during the season. Also, Captain Jack ends up sending Graham, Ryan, and Yaz back. But he gives them one warning. He said, tell her this. Tell the Doctor this, that I will see her. Because the nanogenes of the ship that he came in, the ship that he has stolen, are getting to him. So he has to use his personal transporter to get out of there. And he tells them to tell her, beware the lone Cybermen. Now, we know something about the Cybermen. The Cybermen, like the Daleks, they're like one of the many enemies that keep coming back throughout Doctor Who lore. And when last we saw the Cybermen, we saw them in The Doctor Falls, preceded by World in Enough Time, and we saw Mondasian Cybermen. We've seen them in previous incarnations. They've been sent into other universes, but I've seen Cybermen in the previews since like all the season teaser previews, and there are Cybermen, and so there's probably going to be a lone Cyberman. But this episode was very confusing. I'm thinking that it might be something like The Next Doctor. That, if you remember, Jackson Lake got shot with an info stamp, a Cybermen info stamp that backfired, and he for a time thought that he was the Doctor. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe she's a future incarnation of the Doctor who doesn't remember her past. Or maybe, perhaps maybe, the Master's been female before. Just saying. So tell me what you think about this episode in the comments below. Tell me if you were as confused as I was. Tell me what you liked about this episode. And join in the discussion. What I most liked was that the Doctor said, "You don't know me. You know, something's coming for me. Time is swirling around me." And Graham, love him. Please don't let them ever kill off Graham. He has my vote for favorite companion. But he said that whatever happens, whatever coming, will be by your side. They cite themselves as her family, her chosen family. But as I said, tell me what you think of the episode in the comments below. Tell me if you were confused, and let's continue this discussion. Until then, take care, have a great day, don't go far, and I'll see you on Thursday for my next review on Star Trek Picard.